Hello and welcome. If you're a Turkish medical device manufacturer and you're thinking about expanding into Europe, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to break down how you can use Poland as the perfect launchpad for your success.
So you've done the hard work. You've got a fantastic product, and you've secured that all-important CE mark. That's your ticket to the game. But here's the thing. Getting in the door is one thing. Actually winning is another. To really succeed, you need to get the inside track on the market dynamics and the local business culture. That's what really separates just showing up from actually making a profit.
So why are we focusing on Poland? Well, because it's so much more than just a single country. It's a strategic gateway. We're going to show you exactly how a smart entry here doesn't just open up Poland. It can unlock the entire Central and Eastern European region for your brand.
All right, here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to look at the why, the huge opportunity in Poland. Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the regulatory rulebook and the unwritten rules of their business culture. After that, we'll dive into the critical step of finding the right partners. And finally, we'll tie it all together with a simple, actionable go-to-market checklist.
Okay, first things first. Let's look at the actual numbers, because they paint a really compelling picture of why Poland should be at the top of your list.
Let's just start with the headline number. 2.8 billion euros. That's the current value of the Polish medical device market. I mean, on its own, that's a massive prize, right? It easily makes it one of the biggest markets in all of Central Europe.
And it's not standing still. The market's growing at a really healthy clip, about 5% every year. What's driving that? Well, it's a nationwide push to modernize healthcare and, frankly, the growing demands of an aging population.
But honestly, the numbers inside Poland, that's only half the story. The real strategic genius of this move is its location. You have to think of Poland as your distribution command center. Once you have a solid base here, you have a direct pipeline into huge neighboring markets like the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, and all of the Baltic states.
And another thing, this isn't just about swapping out old machines for new ones. Poland is in the middle of a huge investment in its healthcare infrastructure, which is creating these very specific, very real opportunities for companies with high-tech and digitally integrated devices.
And here's the proof right here. We are talking about a $400 million investment specifically in AI-enabled medical technology, all set to go by the end of 2026. And look at the target areas: radiology, cardiology, and dermatology. If your products are in these fields, you need to know that Poland is actively looking for what you have to offer.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about the regulatory side of things. Think of your CE mark as your passport into the EU. It gets you in. But Poland has a few of its own house rules you absolutely need to know. So, here's the great news. Because Poland is a full EU member, it follows the standard European rules. That means your CE-marked products, the ones that already comply with MDR and IVDR, are good to go. You don't need any extra country-specific registrations, which is a huge relief.
But, and this is a big but, you really can't miss this, Polish law is incredibly strict about language. Any documents you submit to the authorities, and especially anything a patient will see, we're talking labels, implant cards, instructions for home use, it all has to be flawlessly translated into Polish. It's non-negotiable. Now, there is a little wiggle room for devices used only by professionals, but you still need to get official approval for that.
Okay, so we've covered the official rulebook. Now let's talk about the unwritten rules, the Polish business culture. And trust me, getting this right is just as important as having all your paperwork in order.
This quote right here, it perfectly sums up how business communication works in Poland. It's direct, it's to the point, and it's always professional. It's not rudeness, not at all. It's actually a sign of respect for your time, and they expect the same from you. Clear, factual answers, not vague promises.
Meetings there are super efficient, and they're all about getting things done. Being on time isn't just a suggestion, it's expected. You need to come with a clear agenda, be ready for some really deep technical questions about your product, and have your certifications on hand. In Poland, trust is earned by doing what you say you're going to do. Your first successful delivery will mean more than months of just talking.
So, if we boil it all down, what's the takeaway? Be direct, be reliable, and be a true partner to your distributor. Your CE mark gets your foot in the door, for sure, but it's your performance, your after-sales service, and your competitive pricing that will actually close the deal. The golden rule here is to under-promise and over-deliver.
All right, let's talk about what might be the single most important decision you'll make when you enter this market: picking the right local partner. This can make or break your entire venture. First, you gotta understand the playing field.
A whopping 70% of the market comes from public tenders through their National Health Fund. These are huge contracts, but the decision-making process can be very long. The other 30% is the private sector. It's smaller, yeah, but it's much, much faster for getting new products into the market.
So, what kind of distributor is right for you? Well, a generalist gives you wide access, but you risk your brand getting a little lost in the shuffle. A specialist is perfect if you have a high-tech product, but they're going to demand a lot more from you. Here's the non-negotiable part, though. You have to do your homework. Check their MDR compliance, their logistics, and, this is critical, their financial health. You need a partner who can handle the common delays in hospital payments without going under.
Okay, we're in the home stretch. For our final section, let's pull everything we've talked about into a simple, actionable checklist that you can use to guide your entry into the Polish market. Here's a very practical timeline for you. You should start looking for and vetting distributors right now. Plan to have your legal setup finalized by late 2025. And please, get out your calendar and circle this date, May 19th and 20th, 2026. That is the SALMED trade fair in Poznan. It is, without a doubt, the single best place to meet all the key distributors and buyers face-to-face. You have to be there. Now listen up, because this is specifically for our Turkish exporters, and it's a huge advantage. You do not have to carry all the financial risk alone. To deal with things like delayed payments from hospitals, you need to use the tools that were built for you. Turk Exim Bank can insure up to 90% of your revenue against risk, and the Ministry of Commerce offers major grants that can help pay for marketing, your certification costs, and even rent for a local office. Using this support is an absolute game changer. So, to wrap it all up, here is your roadmap. 1. Set up a legal presence so you can bid on those big public contracts. 2. Make sure your devices are ready for Poland's e-health systems. 3. Protect your finances with the government support available to you. 4. Plan a powerful strategy for SALMED. And 5. Do not cut corners on your Polish translations. Follow these steps, and Poland will go from being a challenge to being a huge success for your brand.
Look, Poland offers a stable, growing, and incredibly strategic market. With the right preparation, the right partners, and a real understanding of the culture, it can absolutely become the foundation for your company's entire European success story.